But talking about such big famous people,
Speaking of celebrities who know me,
speaking
Kanye.
of celebs, another one maybe just slightly bigger,
Just a teeny bit.
just teeny bit bigger. Mr. Ye, Mr. Yi.
I think is it. I guess it would be Yay, right? Because it's Kanye, but then it's
That
spelled
I
like
thought
Yi.
it's well in my language I would read that as yeah, so perfect for me.
Okay,
Um,
perfect.
in French, we need an accent on that E. So yeah,
Yeah,
but Mr. Yeah, formerly known as Kanye West,
got it.
basically has decided that he wants to, how once upon a time he wanted to be president and he loved everyone and because
Mm-hmm.
he needed their votes. And not
Yes.
anymore.
No, no
it's
votes.
it's over. Right now we don't love Jewish people and we also don't love black people.
Cool.
So right
Looking good.
now it's yeah, we're gonna be left with a very small percentage of the people who can vote. Let's just say
Yes.
that.
Yikes.
um but yeah, so I don't know what's gonna happen if Biden just but
Kicks it.
Kanye is definitely not definitely not gonna win that one. So
Yeah. Well, you never know. Trump, has said a lot of horrible, hateful things, and look what happened to him. So, crazier things have happened. I don't think he's going to be President Kanye myself, but he was on the ballot, I believe, at some point of some election, which is sort of crazy.
yeah, yeah, well, I don't know why he wants this. Like, he says, isn't it enough to lead a life of drugs and parties? Like, why do you want to be president and wake up at like 5 a.m. and do work and sign papers? Like,
He
what's that
doesn't.
for?
He doesn't. He wants the power of it. And I don't even know what he's thinking, if he's thinking clearly. So do you want to kind of talk about what, like the tweet that sort of shut him down? Because he's off of Twitter. He's banned from Instagram as well, right?
Well, I will have you know that he's actually back on Twitter because
Oh.
Mr. Elon Musk has welcomed him back personally.
Oh. Wait, he
Yes.
has control now of Twitter? Does that became
Well,
official?
I don't know. I don't know. I got lost in all the news about the Twitter purchase. I didn't really understand. Did he get it? Did he not get it? Because like at
Yeah.
some point he was like, "Oh, I'm totally buying this. I'm gonna revolutionize Twitter." And then he was like, actually, I don't know." Like, so I just kind of lost track of that. I got bored in that, you know, lack of decisiveness from Elon. So
Mm,
yeah, but no, I checked personally, and yeah,
he's
Mr.
back.
Ye is back on Twitter, welcomed by Elon.
Well, let's see what got him kicked off first. And then I think this is a great point that Mai brought up, or someone brought up, but I'm reading her comment or their comment. And he has a school. Did you know that? Yay
No.
has a school. That's something we should talk about. I mean, we can into it. It's like a charter school for children, obviously. And they have to wear like certain uniforms and they do musical things and it's very, very secretive. So we can look into that in a second. But let's tackle the newest news first.
Yeah, yeah. Oh gosh. Okay, so there was like a lot to do with the White Lives Matter T-shirt that he wore at Paris Fashion Week, I think.
Yes.
And he also wore this like thing. I don't know what that is. I've been looking it up online and I just couldn't figure out what that was in his mouth. But he was like a Balenciaga thing in his on his teeth. I'm like, why would you have diamond teeth if you're going to put some Balenciaga crap on it?
For the fashion, baby. I don't know.
I know. It's just not quite my idea of fashion. But he wore this to be controversial. And lots of people are speculating that he's becoming irrelevant.
Well, now that Kim is without him and on her own again, maybe he's worried.
Yeah, yeah. And there's Candace Owens. Yeah, I don't know what's that about. Are they dating?
And
This
maybe
is
that
me
would be
starting
crazy.
rumors.
Yeah. Cam's the first one to break it.
Breaking news, everybody. Candace Owens
Candace,
and Kanye West.
yay.
The couple nobody expected, and yet such a good match.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, okay, Candace Owens is sort of a provocateur of sorts, someone who goes out there to purposely stir up stuff, or at least to, get her point across in a viral way, I would say, my personal opinion. Whether you believe in what she says or not, I still think she has the idea to incite some emotions in people, like sort of like a Jordan Peterson at this point does as well. Like, they might have a certain political stance, but they know how to manipulate the media and to create certain narratives to get into the news more often. And so I think here, this is the perfect example of that.
yeah, she's like a black Ben Shapiro to me.
Yes.
That's how I think of Candace. But just you think she influenced him to become controversial himself?
I think he was already controversial. He said things, I remember he was on TMZ, I believe, a few years ago, where he was like, slavery was a choice, which,
Oh my
is
God.
pretty
Wow.
crazy thing to say. And he said some other controversial things over the years. And, people, and I myself too, have sort of chalked it up to bipolar disorder. But I think now we're sort of deeper into the mental health conversation as a society. So I think the secondary conversation is, okay, we're understanding of more mental health disorders, but some of those disorders, including like the borderline personality and the dissociative one, they tend to I don't know, people who have them or are diagnosed, even like we're talking about Gabby Hanna, like their behavior becomes confusing as how do we as people respond to it? Because is this just a symptom of having a mental illness and we should all just ignore it? Or is this a symptom of a mental illness and it's still not acceptable? Or is this a symptom of a mental illness and we should just go, whatever you say is wonderful and, we accept you?
Okay. Yeah, I did not think about his mental health illness, not a single bit throughout this whole thing. And I don't think it's because I am such a mean person and I just don't care about his mental health. I'm sure that he's got his own issues, but I have my own to care about, to be honest. But
Same.
the thing with that, I feel like it's no, I don't, I can't in like all good faith believe when people say yes, Kanye West is bipolar and that is why he's doing these things.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but like, are we really that deluded to think that Kanye West does not have a PR team, or he does
Yeah.
not have money to hire like a social media person, or he does not already have a social media person handling his Instagram? Are we just
Of
as deluded
course.
as to think that he's just got his own Instagram and just kind of stays on it whenever and doesn't have a finsta, and
Yeah.
just because he's got an episode suddenly he's tweeting all the things, or like, I don't believe it.
Yeah. I think that's a good
And if
point.
that's true, I'm sorry, but that's complete like dumbassery, if that's even a word. But no, I just don't think it's true. Like, most people who are famous tend to have like social media managers, they tend to have PR managers, they tend to have teams around them handling their fame.
Yeah.
And I am more inclined to believe that this is just more of a
Stunt.
strategy rather than, yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it's just like, oh, I just was bipolar for a second and tweeted all the things and my manager was not there to take my phone away. Like, come
Yeah.
on, it's not realistic in my opinion to that for a man of his caliber, for a man with that kind of money, having that kind of fame,
Yeah.
living in LA where everyone knows. I don't know.
Well, I think you're right, though, to also say when you said, that's what stirs up the excitement and like the publicity again, that, when something like this happens, now we're talking about him again. And okay, now he's got some sort of launch or whatever. Like, if they're really thinking about his business, his best business at heart, or like the best interest of his business, doing this shit is probably in the best interest of his business. Probably,
Yeah.
you think like, oh, he'll lose sponsorships or whatever, but he's got other means of income that, people, no matter what, and someone said in the comments, like, no matter what, he's got stands that will not go against him. So, they're going to
And I
double
think
down and support him.
absolutely, and I think financially, I would say that he's probably set, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, I don't know what his finances would be like, but I'm pretty sure that he's made enough money that he could pretty much live his entire life without doing anything if he wanted
Yes.
to. At the same time, I know there's lots of celebrities who tend to be broke because they just are very loose
Spend.
with their money because they don't understand how to handle it and how to manage it. And he could be in that boat as well. But there is an article that I posted in Trello, about he was dropped from a TV show because of this.
Oh, the episode, was it called the crew or
It's the
something?
Yeah. I'm not sure, but
I'll look
we
at.
can we can show it. But yeah, so he did lose something, I guess, in this whole thing. And he did lose his Twitter briefly, so I suppose to some extent maybe he did get a bit of a backlash. But I just feel like
One day ban.
yeah, these kind of things are just, I feel like cancellations, everyone's like, oh my God, cancel culture is like the devil. Oh my God. And I'm like, cancel culture does nothing. It's completely useless. It just makes those people even more famous.
Yeah, exactly. I know. And we were talking when we were in LA, we were talking about as like a group, which I thought was interesting, about like Louis C.K. and that whole thing, and like all the comedians that sort of like, or Chris D'Elia as well. Like what repercussions did they really face? I mean, like Louis C.K. had more than Chris D'Elia, but pretty much the whole, like the plan of action is like, if you can just go away for a tiny bit and then just go back onto your podcast and just continue on, like life pretty much never changed for you. Like maybe a minimal issue or something, but a lot of people were like, yeah, like that's just how it is, like, that's just the way the life is, like they should just be forgiven after a certain amount of time, even if they never really apologized or addressed it or anything. That was sort of the consensus. And I was like, oh, interesting. Okay. I mean, if that's what a lot of people think, like this is going to continually happen. And so I don't know. I don't know if that's good or bad or neither.
I'm starting to think, and the more I am kind of involved with the internet and stuff, I'm starting to think that cancel culture really like only affects people who actually have a conscience and who tend to
Yes.
be like decent people
Yes.
in the first
Agreed.
place, or who just have, like in the case of Ned from the Try Guys, for example, who have gone completely against, or Creepshow Art, who have gone completely against what they have built their platforms on, which these are two instances where I feel like maybe cancel culture does work because people do tend to like get upset when you've just when it turns out that you've lied to them for years and years. People get a little upset. So
Well, I think, and my thing is like, how they say like well, maybe you don't know, this is more maybe an American thing, but like there's a lot of talk about, what's the word for it? When you go to school and you get extra perks because of your certain ethnicity or you have a certain background. Affirmative
like
action.
diverse. Oh,
So there's a thing, it's like, so because, you come from a minority or you have a lower income or whatever, there are certain, and it's different. And there's a lot of debate about whether it's, fair or not. But, a certain college might weigh a black student scores higher than a white student scores, and they might weigh an Asian student scores lower than a white student. And, there's a lot of things about what that means and all that. What was the point of this, bringing this up? Now I'm going way into the weeds of like what it is. With that conversation, what was I going to talk about? Oh my God, what did you just say before I started talking?
I don't know.
Oh my
We're
God.
now both lost. Okay, well, it's
Sorry.
regardless. I guess
Take
I
it all
guess
back.
maybe you're trying to say that we should give him like affirmative action for being mentally ill.
No, that was not what I was saying.
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought this is where you were going with it, but
There was something about like, okay, affirmative action in this country, it's very controversial, and there's all these things that you are weighing. I don't know. Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't know. I have no idea what I was talking about. Forgive
That's
me.
okay. You're blonde now. We
I'm
forgive
blonde.
you.
Jesus Christ, I go blonde one day and I have lost all my brain cells.
Can you chew and walk at the same time?
No, I can't. I can't any longer.
I just think that this was like such a bad move though, because I feel like Kanye probably has a lot of fans of color, and it's hurting like the direct his direct audience, like his fans. And I don't know. It made me sad to see that. And I also just don't think that while I think that he is probably very disconnected and he's been in a super ultra privileged position for a very long time, I don't think that he believes it though. Like there's a part of me that thinks he was doing this for attention. He was doing this to get relevant, I suppose, again, but in what way? I mean, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I just don't know if he at heart, because he's a black man, he must have experiences in his life where he can relate to his fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I wonder if at a certain point, like your race goes underneath like economic status and relatability. Like you're around so many people who have so much money. Like even like this has been said about Beyonce and Jay-Z and Oprah, like, that you sort of become, or even OJ, he was hanging when he got really famous before the murders. He was hanging out with white people who are rich. And now that could be because there's more white people who are rich for a myriad amount of reasons why that happens in this country. But, their relatability around them, the people, their social circle is more based on their economic status than their race. And since Kanye, I think he became famous pretty young in his life, he's lived more of a life of privilege than a life of being a black man in America. So I wonder if that plays a factor too.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, me or my.
Hi,
You have to
thank
tell
you.
us how to say your name. I will be going to the dentist in a bit and will bring my headphones. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
Yay! You can hear us
Yes.
talking and arguing and laughing over the
I hope.
drilling of your teeth.
Yeah, I hope we can distract you from
Which
the
one's better?
destruction of your teeth.
I really wish I could remember what I was going to say.
Um, yeah, me too. Basically, I just wonder if I don't know if his best days are behind him at this point.
I've always, and I've never said anything, definitely not publicly, because who's asking my opinion on Kanye? But I don't understand how he's so, like, I don't get fashion. I don't understand fashion at all. Like, I look at the New York Fashion Week, I'm like, what the fuck is this? These are people in burlap sacks. I don't get it. They're wearing balloon hats. I don't understand. Like, I don't know what makes fashion good. Everyone's saying like how he's such a fashion icon. I'm like, he's wearing a hoodie and a black hat. Like, what is this fashion here? I don't get it. So I think like, but people are like, he's a genius. So I just took people's word for it. Like, they must know better than I. But I think this elevated status of like everything he does is art is a little bit putting him on a pedestal that maybe he doesn't deserve. And definitely doesn't deserve at this point.
Yeah, I personally don't understand this fashion. That fashion is very different from culture to culture, I would say, but I would agree that maybe I've seen men dressed like him a little bit in Romania, but I've never seen men dressed like that here in the UK. So
Yeah.
it's kind of hard for me to think of it. Maybe London, I don't know. Maybe London. But
Yeah.
the rest of the UK, it's way too cold for fashion. Like it's
Yeah.
just
Maybe Jay
insanely cold.
Shetty, looking at Jay Shetty's outfits, I'm like, oh, he understands fashion, I guess, according to, people who claim to understand fashion. I just don't get it. I don't understand. Like that, no one normal is walking around the streets, like you said, wearing these things. But like they put a collection together and it looks like trash, garbage, like an actual trash people walking with trash cans on themselves. And they're like, oh my God. amazing. I'm like, I don't understand. Explain this to me. So,
I
but
don't think it's a thing. I think just I feel like I have become a complete and utter cynic. Like, I
I
don't believe
know.
in anything anymore. I don't believe in literature. I don't believe in art. I don't believe in fashion. I just think these things have become, it's more about, does this person of influence, for example, say that this is good? For example, you can
Mm,
have Anna Wintour
Wintour,
or whatever
yeah.
from Vogue. If she says yes, this is fashion, then that is fashion. Doesn't matter like what, you know what I mean? It's more like, if and because Kanye is so known, it's so famous. Obviously, he gets into, it's easy to get into those circles. It's easy to have those conversations. It's easy to come out with collections. As long as somebody says it's fashion, then it becomes fashion. But I don't think it's like, a real thing where, I guess if there was like an indie fashion designer who just kind of didn't have those connections and just was pretty much loved by the masses, if that
Yeah.
makes sense, then I would be like, okay, that makes sense. But if they just completely bypass what the populace likes and wants, and they just go straight to the top, and that person puts a stamp on the top being like, yes, fashion, then I'm not gonna, I'm not persuaded.
Yeah. Like, okay, jeans. This is what they wear in Canada all the time to like, farm
Yeah.
fashion. Like, okay. Wow.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Same
What is the
boots.
thing on the face?
I don't know. Some sort of mask to hide their identity. Oh, red on red. Like, I don't get it. Wow. He
That's a
worked
coat.
a
Look at that. He's
coat.
got a coat.
This is in GQ magazine, as if this is like something that I'm learning from. Like, what?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she's in a jacket with this, like, he's got tones. Like, this is an outfit that I saw back in the 90s. Like,
The
bandana.
2000s with the flowers on the jeans and stuff. Yeah. All of the girls had them.
Like, what are we really
Yeah.
doing here? Like, debating a man who's probably mentally ill, who's, who's got some really bad takes, but we're spending so much time debating if it's good or not because he wears pleather on leather. Like, I don't care. I don't know. And he made rap songs that were good, but like there's tons of songs in the world that are good, in the same genre. So I think anyone else that would have said literally like, I'm going to go kill 3 Jewish people would have been long gone, like not been discussed anymore. Like, this person is completely unhinged. But because he has a cultural icon status, which I don't understand, I guess I need to understand why he does have that so deeply, and then maybe I'll get it more. But as an outsider, I'm like, I don't get it why this guy gets any more. Oh wow, sweatpants and socks. Like, come on. What is going on?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think once you get to a certain level of fame, it's more just like a pick your favorite activity of the week. And if you want to be a famous, fashion designer, that's what you'll be that week. And then,
That's
you
what you
know,
yee.
that's what you be. But talking about him, maybe we should watch a little bit. I
Yes.
don't know how much time we should spend on this, but we maybe should watch a little bit of the interview that he did with Tucker Carlson.
Okay. You linked it, but wait, but he's wearing a tan T-shirt. Shouldn't we talk about that for 20 minutes?
Oh my god. Don't go crazy with colors. Like, that's all I'm gonna say. This year color is not in. So,
Not in. Okay, I don't see the link in
oh, just
Trello.
on the guest chat, sorry.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Let me look. Interview chat, copy, paste. Okay.
What's wrong? Nick from Wisconsin. Jesse, I missed the beginning of the show and I can't rewind. If you read
Oh
my
my god,
text
is
on there,
Fox
then
News
I've got-
gonna copyright claim us?
No, not Fox. Fox is
Okay.
journalism.
Good.
next time, DVR it. Then you can rewind. Tucker's up next with Kanye Part 2 on water.
Can you imagine, like, and finally, we need to answer this question. This guy says he can't find his remote. Well, find it. All right. See you next time. What the hell?
This is my
The news.
So last night. Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. So last night we showed you clips from an interview we did with Ye, previously known as Kanye West.
Okay, first things first. We've been 1 second into the interview.
Previously known.
If this was a trans story, if Kanye was trans, you know for a fact Tucker Carlson would call him by his old name and say, "Oh, you know, Bruce Jenner, da 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 da," and would have not respected it in any way. But because Kanye or Ye is on their side and, conservatively, it seems, now, there's so much respect. Like, we're going to reference him by his, new name and not make it weird. He would have made that a joke if this was anyone else. Like, how ridiculous. A man changed his name to 2 letters. How woke of him. But we don't hear that. I'm just wanting to put that out there.
But I feel like, we're only bigots to the people we hate. So,
Of course.
Of
course.
I didn't know this about him, though.
Tucker?
About Tucker, yeah.
I mean, he's on Fox News, so he's an idiot. Sorry, everyone. He's a big...
That's okay. That guy lost his remote, and they're gonna fight it. So,
Tucker, my question is, where's the power button?
where is the remote, Tucker?
Help me.
I need to change the channel. Maybe that guy was like, I'm stuck on Fox News.
No, he's probably like, I'm glad for this, but I can't sleep. And the demons are talking louder every minute. Help me, Tucker. No, Tucker is horrible. He's a horrible dude. Bad, in my opinion. Bad takes, attitudinal, pushing of anti-vaccine rhetoric, pushing of replacement theory rhetoric. Not a great. And he's a commentator. He has a show, but he's not a journalist in the sense of objective and fair. So that's who he is. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Now, last week he was at the Paris Fashion Week and unveiled a shirt that said "White Lives Matter." And of course, much outrage ensued, and he was roundly denounced as insane. Virtually no one asked him why he did that. So we thought before dismissing him as a mental patient, it might be worth hearing his side of the story. Just listen to him. So
he's got a side.
Booked a 30-minute interview with West, which quickly morphed into a 2-hour interview. And we're so grateful that it did, because one of the most interesting, deep, and provocative conversations we've ever watched. Everybody thought that. Guys operating the cameras thought that.
Everybody thought that.
Fascinating.
Everyone.
Okay. I love it when they have to just bring more. When somebody tries to make a point and their point is not landing, and it's like, but everybody thinks so. I'm not the only one.
The janitor I saw on the hallway.
I'm not crazy.
This sweet janitor who works in the building, he thought it too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think we need the volume slightly up if we can on the
sorry.
Tucker video.
Yep. Raise it up. Okay. This is my problem forever. Okay, I'm gonna raise myself
What do you
down
hear or
too.
not? So, among many other things, West gave us his assessment of Barack Obama, whom he knows well and has known well for many years, even before he became president. Here's what he said. Do you talk to Obama still?
I was Obama's favorite artist. He actually met with me. Obama met with me and my mama to say that he was running for office back in 2008. And that he wanted the support. And everybody was so into this idea of the black president. And you were always cool. And it's also
Riveting.
I thought he was a genius. What's going on here?
are there?
This is the most deep and interesting conversation. He's like, did you meet Obama?
Kanye seems high. He's trying to stay present, not succeeding.
Obama and my mama. Hey, that could be a lyric.
This Eki rocks.
Yeah, so far I've heard nothing so far that's been riveting or even coherent.
So far, I'm really struggling. I don't know if we can go through all of this at all.
Let's get him. We'll leave him have a full thought. Let's see.
Obama level, Ye level, Virgil level, just
What?
black so brilliant that we cut through all of the lines of racism. Like, you just can't get rid of us. Nat King Cole level, Dave Chappelle level. So in some place, we'd have to be friends and get along, because it's like, you're at that level. You're like a, Formula One Lewis Hamilton race car driver. We're still driving a white car, but we're the best race car drivers that ever existed. And that was me and Obama's connection. But soon as I wasn't saying the things that I was supposed to say as a rapper, our connection faded.
So you don't talk to him anymore?
I'll talk to him if I see him.
Yep.
But I guarantee you, he see me. I don't even know him. I just thought that sounded cool.
What is going on? He's high.
Yeah, something's.
He is so high. This is crazy. They brought him on Fox News high.
And Tucker's like, yeah, I get the joke. I also smoke marijuana. I support.
This is crazy. I can't believe that they brought him on this for a 2-hour interview high.
You want to hear something? She's not my friend anymore, but I had a friend that I used to work with that is like his producer on the show.
Ooh.
Yeah, and she's marrying. She's just got
Tucker's producer or Kanye's?
Tucker. Tucker's producer, and we've lost touch, obviously. But she's marrying like a political commentator who's like got a podcast about conservative values. So yeah. But we were friends from work, so it doesn't count necessarily. But it's interesting to see her path in life is producing probably this show, probably this interview.
I'm glad you went the other way.
Yes, I did. I never was on this path ever. Let's be real.
Well, your colleagues, it could have been you.
No.
Right there with Tucker, doing some lines with Kanye.
Yeah. They said she got to go to Tucker, and they said to me, "Fuck her," and I left.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, going on.
Yeah, that was in my head about 3 minutes ago that I really want to say. It's that's really interesting about the when companies get the BLM managers.
What's a BLM manager?
Black Lives Matter office manager. It's basically you get a semi-influential black person to become the face of a white company.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Okay, this is something that he is creating in his mind, right? They're making it seem like this is like part of the organization. And the organization has a lot of problems that I think we should also talk about at some point, like the actual organization of Black Lives Matter, like the LLC, nonprofit, whatever. But the movement itself, I stand behind. Black Lives Matter movement.
Yes, obviously the movement is what counts. And I have heard a couple of things about BLM and about how, I don't know what she was, but one of the people at the top ended up purchasing a gigantic villa after the 2020 Black Lives Matter movement. And, lots of speculations that villa was actually bought with that money from donations instead of using that money for what the cause really was. But Kanye knows this. He's doing this he's playing on the double meaning of it on purpose because he knows he's in trouble. You know what I mean? That's my opinion.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. And this guy, like I said, Tucker is no journalist. So he hears anything that he likes. He's going to go, "Oh my God, did you hear, America? They have a Black Lives Matter manager at every company in America trying to make black people look better. Oh my God." That's what he's going to take with no truth.
If he says these exact words after this, like, you've got something.
Yeah. Tucker, okay.
So that means like in the design world, in the art world, they actually would pick artists that were less talented than other artists based on their influence, not based on their actual work, because everyone is.
He looks shocked, utterly shocked. That fucking happens every goddamn day. People get picked up for their attention versus talent. That's not a black
but he's
issue.
got
That's
enough attention.
it's a
Why
every
is he
person
ranting
issue.
about this?
I don't
He's got
know.
enough influence. Like if they were to pick someone for influence, they would have picked him,
Yeah, for real.
right? No, but seriously,
You're right. I
what,
know.
like what? There was someone bigger than him. Who? Jay-Z? Okay, same. Who,
And I
who
think
else?
he's bigger. I think Kanye is bigger than Jay-Z these days, honestly.
Yeah, I've not heard anything about Jay-Z in like 10 years. So
Yeah, he's silently doing whatever he's doing, and I think that's for the best, probably for everybody. Just like do your thing. Like, why do you? I don't know. Maybe.
yeah,
That's
but
mean to
he's
say,
trying
but-
to make this sound like, oh my God, they should have picked me because I'm more talented. But no, they went
Then
for someone
who?
with influence. Like, who is this person who is also a rapper who is more
Come on.
influential than Kanye?
Yeah.
Hello, Taro.
Taro, come on. She wants to see what all the fuss is about. Come on. Okay, there you go. All right, let's continue. You don't have to watch much more than this.
Is vying for influence and an opinion. Everyone is afraid of losing their opinion. So with Nike, right? Nike is as famous as, you say Nike's more famous than PayPal, right? Right. What,
Sure,
what
yes, I
number
say that all
company
the
do you think
time.
PayPal is
I don't know.
number 4.
I don't know.
Overall?
Overall, you got, well, you know the number 1 is, right? It's Apple.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting number 2, but number 3 is
I forget number 2,
McDonald's.
but I definitely know the others.
McDonald's? What is he talking about? The yearly gross income? What is he talking about? The
The
most
fame.
fame?
He said PayPal is, or no, the other thing. Nike is more famous than PayPal.
Isn't that subjective?
I don't know what he means. I've never heard of a company being famous.
And a company being
More
famous, like
infamous.
ranking system, like ranked in what times 100 most famous companies, or what is the source of this other than like what he believes?
Well, I'm not taking anything he's saying as the fact right now. Like I think it's just pulling things out of his mind. It's like I think I heard it somewhere because I don't read because reading sucks. It's for pussies. But like I heard it somewhere from a man, that this is true.
If we had to rank famous business leaders, it'd be Captain Crunch number 1, Ronald McDonald number 2, the Colonel Sanders number 3. Like that's obvious, right? I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm not being funny today.
No, Crunch. I don't think Crunch made it to Romania, or at least if they did.
Tony
they
the
didn't-
Tiger.
No, I don't think they're not popular. At least maybe they
Okay.
are there, but nobody knows or buys them. So
Okay,
but
Well, that's
definitely
about
people
as-
buy Apple and McDonald's.
true. Okay, fair enough.
Then
People were so upset in Russia when because of the war, the McDonald's was closed,
Damn.
and they just like had these gigantic lines at it.
We
Do
want
you
our
know this
fries.
No, they were just upset because for them it was like a symbol of capitalism and like in relationships with the West, and they were just, now it's just Putin.
No
Nothing
poutine,
else,
just
nobody else.
Putin. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
SpaceX is maybe 6 or 7. It's really interesting that as lit as Elon is, his previous company is actually still worth more than SpaceX.
A worth.
So,
Okay, Apple's number 1. Amazon, he forgot to mention Amazon.
Yeah, I don't know if this is true as well. And there is a lot of. Oh, I actually want to do a deep dive into Elon Musk because there's so much misinformation about him out there.
Yeah. Well, he didn't
It's
start
crazy.
PayPal.
He did. Yeah, he didn't even. This was started by someone else. He just went in and was like, "It's mine," and then that's it. And now everyone thinks that's his, and
Yeah.
he's this genius behind PayPal, and it's not.
If anyone, Tony Hsieh is more behind PayPal, who then went on to, or not the only person, but then he went on to found Zappos, and then his life went down I don't know what happened to him exactly, but he wrote a book he was sort of on like the business entrepreneur, like guru track. And then out of nowhere, he like kind of went down a path of like drugs, I guess, apparently. And then like committed suicide. And it was like, whoa, like what happened to him? He was like one of the big founders of PayPal, but no one talks about him. Everyone talks about Elon. Anyways.
Elon has buried him.
Yeah, literally. Okay, here we go.
What number
Last part.
company do you think Nike is? The Nike. Number 321. It's not there to be as big a financial company as it can be. It's there as an influencer because black people love Nike. So
That's a fact.
Why is this
Nike
relevant?
is like a company
That's
that
a
is
fact.
redlining
Why are we talking
and
about Nike?
gerrymandering black people. So the reason
Nike's
why
doing that?
Gap wanted me to go the Gap, it wasn't based on, oh, we need to get our stocks up. You know, it's like these companies, when they've been around for a long time, Gap's not like, they're like, we're in the rag trade. We're never going to be Apple. And everyone, all of these American companies somehow took this deal where they start putting in these really awkward, weird number kind of CEOs. Like Nike's got one, the Gap had one. It didn't
Number
work out.
What are we
CEOs?
talking about?
There's all of
This?
these weird
What is going on?
operators inside of companies. Even in Balenciaga, you know.
Oh,
The-
burn!
And
He
they,
looked behind the camera. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Did you see that? That is the PR manager behind the camera, right there.
Oh.
That he's got someone behind. Like, you can't tell me Kanye is going alone to all these things. Of course he's got PR. Of course the PR manager probably has their Instagram.
It's probably my old coworker. She's like, I wear Balenciaga.
Oh my god, how funny would that be?
Could be. I'm telling you. Okay, we don't have to watch any more of this. I'm not
I just
following.
don't understand, why are we talking about Nike? Like, what is this? This
Did
is
you
not
know
relevant.
Nike doesn't have as much money as Apple? Yeah.
Did you know Gap is not Nike?
It's because gerrymandering. What? Yeah, I know, right? And Tucker's like, oh, see? I knew
so
it.
True.
So
You're a
true.
genius.
What do you think? What do you think? That's about as relevant as what Kanye said. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just read the tweet,
Yeah.
the big cancellation. I put it up already like twice, but let's just read it because this is like the most, to me, inflammatory one that he said. This is what got him kicked off Twitter for 1 second. So he said, I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going to DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. The funny thing is, I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew. Also, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who ever opposes your agenda.
What does that mean? I'm going DEFCON 3.
I think that means you're going to like beat them up at the least and murder 3 Jewish people at the worst.
Oh, so he's like, oh yeah, I'm on board with Hitler now?
I don't know. This is sort of like if let's say he is mentally ill and he's going down. I think he is. I think he is. But if there is no secondary part to this where it's like I am mentally ill and I'm also planning this for some sort of like publicity stunt, like if it's purely mental illness, he could be down a conspiracy theory rabbit hole where they believe that Jews control everything and that there's this secret cabal that they are, manipulating capitalism and, pushing down white people and all this stuff. Like that's like the sort of rhetoric that sort of began like in, Jerusalem a bazillion years ago. But, back in the German era, Nazi era, that was sort of the thing. Like they're ruining our lives. There's this secret group of Jews that ruin our lives, for that just because they control everything. So I think
That was
could
the fear, yeah. Or
that's
that
what
was
that's what they're
Hitler's fear.
saying.
Or
But people
that was
still
his
believe
excuse,
that.
rather, not even.
Sure, and people still believe that today, and that comes up in a lot of conspiracy theories. That Alex Jones will talk about, like the Jews are behind it. Like it hasn't ended yet. That whole conspiracy about them being a group that controls the world. So that
Yeah,
could be what he's
that was
referencing.
yeah, but just how unoriginal of him. You know,
Yeah.
Kanye, I thought you were a genius, and here's you being just a copy of Hitler. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, Hitler's already done this. Like, you don't need to go or proclaim that you want to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. That's already been done. This is copy. This is a
Yeah.
copy. This is cheap, and I'm so disappointed.